So if visibility is the starting point, what does an employer actually look at? Because see your numbers is just a little bit vague.
Yeah, I agree. So there are five categories that really tell the story, and then from there we can drill down to figure out what is the underlying issue and action plan. But as a starter, we want to see monthly claims against budget. Are we tracking the way that we were projected to track through underwriting of our plan and our costs on budget? What are the high cost individual claims or claimants? Like, what are those one off or outliers that may be kind of driving a bigger share of the cost than the rest of the population? What does pharmacy utilization look like? Chronic condition trends. And finally, and maybe one of the more impactful ones, is site of care, meaning where are people getting treated or receiving care or having procedures done?
Yeah, so that's pretty specific.
Yeah, it has to be. And here's a stat that surprises, almost every employer I share it with. But statistically speaking, in any population, roughly 10% of your covered members are driving 60 to 80% of the claims.
Wow, 10%.
10%. So if you don't know what's driving the cost of that 10%, then as a business leader, you may be flying blind on the majority of the spend, and any actions can then be focused and specifically tailored and customized to support that 10% cost driver.
That makes so much sense. And it changes how I think about a renewal conversation completely. So if I'm a business owner and I don't know that number, what am I even negotiating?
Yeah, sometimes, when we push back on the carrier and we get a couple of percent points, we feel like we kind of won. And in the end, that's just negotiating a rate increase. It's not really negotiating a strategy. And so there's a pretty distinct difference between being armed with the data to be able to do the math versus
Yeah.
just pushing back on a percent number.
So once an employer has that visibility, then what's the next step? Because knowing the number doesn't fix everything.
Yeah, that's the next piece. So once you see it, you can act on it, right? You can't manage what you can't see. Well, now that you can see it, now there's some programs and activities and action plans that could be put in place to help impact not only the number and the cost, but oftentimes also the experience of the employees. We can do
Hmm.
both. And the employers who are actually moving the needles are the ones that I'd call are winning right now. They're not lucky. They're just better prepared.
So when you say better prepared, what do you mean specifically?
Well, they're walking into renewal already holding the information. They've already seen that trend, that monthly claims report. They know where they've been trending all year long, and they're holding the data well before they walk into that renewal meeting, in the third quarter, maybe even fourth quarter before their plan renews. So they're not receiving the information in the moment where it's too late to actually act or reset their strategy. That becomes
Right.
kind of late in the game. So once they're evaluating something they already understand, that's really the difference between playing off or playing defense and calling your own plays.
Absolutely. I really like that. So it's really not about having more access than other employers. It's about doing something with the access that you already have or maybe that you could have, right?
Yeah, yeah. And the plan itself just starts to look different too.